We are back. Welcome to the present. Woo! I know it's been a while. I've done a lot of live. I'm back again. Don't worry, I'll be more consistent this time. I took a break, and hopefully you guys can join me. I can be more consistent, and we can continue to create quality content for each other. Share ideas. Uh, what would be the right word? Have an interactive section regarding Arsenal and other Premiership team, and sometimes we will dabble into other leagues. As you come into this live stream, do me that big favor. Very important for the growth of this channel, and so that live stream can actually hit the algorithm and hit other people. Do me a favor by liking the video. Very important. Subscribe if you are not yet subscribed, and make sure your notification bell are turned on. Let me recite it one more time. Like the video, let me make sure the audio is clear. Is the audio good? I'd like you guys to let me know if the audio is fantastic from your side. Yeah, it looks like the audio is great from this side. So like the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and make sure your notification bell is turned on. So we'll be discussing ARTETA'S press up. ARTETA has his pre-match press conference today. Today is Thursday. I don't know wherever you're in the world. I don't know what today, but today is Thursday. It's Thursday evening, 9:14 p.m. American time here in New Jersey that I am live streaming from at this moment. So Arteta had his presser today, which for me was unusual because most of the time Arteta does his presser on Friday, but for some reason he had his presser today and he has some things to say. And maybe some of you don't know, we actually had a behind the closed door match against Luton, a friendly match against Luton, which we won emphatically 3-0. Let me put it on the screen. Yeah, let me take this out. So if you see right here, Arsenal beat Luton 3-0 in a behind closed door friendly. Leandro Trossard scores 2 goals while the Raya started in the goal. Bakayo Saka, was the Bakayo Saka was. Why am I struggling with my pronunciation? Sorry, Bukayo Saka was the other goal scorer against Luton today, while Alexander Zinchenko and Reece Nelson both featured. That looks nice. So because this morning when I heard that Arteta was having his press conference, it was absurd to me. So I guess he had his press conference today so they can play this behind the closed door friendly and the boys can have a rest day tomorrow, which makes sense. Since you are playing on Monday, because we're not playing on Saturday and Sunday, it's good for the boys to actually have a kick about, have a kick out, and test and actually make sure the boys are fit, especially players like Zinchenko who have not actually had their own full preseason. They can actually have some minutes in their legs and see how they are faring. So maybe Zinchenko might be available for the match against Crystal Palace away on Monday. So for me, that makes sense. That makes sense. Us playing that behind the closed door friendly. I wish you could see the highlights. Up to now, even on the official website, we have not actually posted the highlights. I don't know why they're hiding it. Let's see the highlights. We're Arsenal fans. We want to see the quality of the goals that Alexander Zinchenko scored, and then we'll see how the likes of Reece Nelson, David Raya, and even what's his name, Zinchenko, how they performed. But unfortunately, we are yet to see it. Maybe tomorrow, Arsenal might decide to post it. So let's continue to wait for that. So let's get proper into the Mikel Arteta presser, which he had earlier this morning. So what are some of the major talking points he had regarding the press conference? So let's start with this. He was asked on Jurriel Timber's injury. It's a huge blow, especially for him, having just joined the club. To have the injury that he has is a huge disappointment for him. Obviously, for the team, is a big blow because we recruited him with clear intentions, and what he was bringing to the team was evident, and he's not going to be in the. So why am I struggling with my reading this evening? I don't know. Pardon me for that. So let me start again from this part. What he brings to the team was evident and is not going to be in this season for us. We have to adapt. These things happen, unfortunately, and we have to move on. What does Arteta mean by we have to adapt? Does it mean we need to bring in a player? Because if I'm reading within the line, he's not saying we're not going to recruit players, but he's saying we have to adapt. Now, what does adaptation mean? Because we need to bring in a body. We brought your Timber so we can have a backup for the right back and a backup for the right center half. Now, our backup, unfortunately, is out for the season. So we need another backup. Unfortunately, we need another backup. We cannot go into this season without recruiting another player that can play the similar role your team was supposed to play. Let me remind you guys that in January, do you know Thomas Partey and Tomiyasu will be going to their respective country to represent their country? Thomas Partey for Ghana in African Nations Cup, and in the Asian Cup, Japan for, and then that will be Tomiyasu for Japan for the Asian Cup. So we'll be losing 2 players in January. So we cannot afford not to add a body for this unfortunate incident that's happened to Timber. We just have to. We just have to add a body. Unfortunately, we have to. So this saying we have to adapt, I don't get it. I know Arteta is always very cool when it comes to player recruitment and giving out key information regarding the club, but I think we need to bring in a player for Timber. There is no other way about it. We cannot rely on Tomiyasu to even stay fit to January. We know it's looking like Tomiyasu is kind of injury prone. Kieran Tierney is kind of injury prone. So we in the back, we cannot afford to play Rob Holding again. We've seen that for 2 years ago and last year, Rob Holding, it does not have the quality to sustain the level we want to play at. So we need to bring in the backup. So this thing happened, unfortunately, and we have to move on. Even though we are going to move on, let's look at this part. Sorry, let me add this back. So on Urine's reaction to his injury, he has been very good, to be honest. He is a special character. He knows and he thinks started to realize the extent of the injury and the amount of time he's going to be out, but he's in a good place. We are all willing to help him and we are very close to him, but it's going to be a long one. Like I said, it's unfortunate. These things happen. It's part of what I'll call occupational hazard. Nobody plans for players to get injured. What has happened, and we need to move on. And I'm wishing Timber a speedy recovery. At the same time, the club need to act and bring in a quality replacement for him for this unfortunate incident. That is my opinion. So let's take this out of the screen right now and let's go to the other thing Mikel Arteta had to say. He was asked regarding our friend Kieran Tierney on whether it's an opportunity for Kieran Tierney. It's an opportunity for everybody. That is very, very smart and intelligent from Mikel Arteta. He doesn't like to answer questions directly, and you can understand why. Because you know how the press can be very funny, how they can misinterpret, misrepresent things managers be saying. Say it's an opportunity for everybody. We are going to need everybody, and everybody is going to be important. The numbers that we have in the squad, especially in those positions that are more limited now. So everybody has to be ready, meaning especially that we've lost Timber, everybody has to be very ready for them to be called upon. On whether Tierney is still part of his plan. Well, he played the Community Shield. No, so a player that played 5 days before in the final is part of the plan for sure. So I don't think Mikel Arteta is totally being very, very honest or forthcoming when it comes to Kieran Tierney. Now, Kieran Tierney might actually be back to the plan due to the injuries suffered by Timber. But is he part of the core group he wants to use the way he plays? I don't believe so. I could be wrong. But I don't believe Kieran Tierney is actually when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, I don't think Kieran Tierney is actually part of Mikel Arteta's plan because he doesn't provide the quality of play, the pattern of play that Mikel Arteta wants. Kieran Tierney still plays like the old school fullback, bombing down the line, crossing in and cutting back. That's not what Mikel Arteta wants from his fullback. He wants his fullback to be able to come in, drift into the midfield, draw the winger to the midfield. So our forward players can be one-on-one with their defenders. That is what he wants. He doesn't want a winger, old school, head down, bombing down the byline and crossing in. That is not what Mikeleta is seeking for. Unfortunately, at this moment, Quarantini is yet to adapt to coming to the midfield, being comfortable with the ball, being creative with the ball, joining the midfield. He has been trying, but it is not second nature to Quarantini. So when something is not second nature to you, trying to exhibit it is very, very difficult. Like there are some things you can learn, but does it come natural to you? No. Something that comes natural to you is very easy to exhibit compared to things you actually learn. I'm not saying you can't learn certain things, but unfortunately, for the last 2 years, Quarantine have been trying to do that. He doesn't find it easy to do. And I'm still skeptical that maybe some games, some certain games, Quarantine can be useful. Can be useful. But do you think if Arteta has his full squad, Quarantine is number one or number two? I don't totally believe that, unfortunately. So was asked on whether Quarantini was disappointed not to be involved against Forest. Because if you remember, against Forest at the weekend that we won 2-1, Quarantini did not even make the squad. And some people were feeling upset. Like, we have a large squad at this moment. We have a very rich bench before the unfortunate injury to Timber. All the players, even some of your favorites, might not make it. It is what it is. See, if Jesus was actually not injured, that means there will be other players that won't have even made the bench. So fans need to get used to the idea that some of your favorites in certain weeks will not even make the squad. They will not make the playing squad. And you have to see, it's time for high competition, high reward. We all wanted a quality squad, and this comes with the territory. You can't be asking for quality squad and thinking some of your favorite players will not be dropped. It doesn't mean they're underperforming. If they don't perform well in training to the manager standard, unfortunately, they have to deal with it. They will be dropped, and it is what it is. So let me take this out and go to the next slide. That was the next slide. Zinchenko. So, no, sorry. Let me take it back. So it was asked on Zinchenko's fitness. Alex is doing very well. He has been training with us, and hopefully we are going to have him available very, very soon. But thank God, according to reports, earlier in the day, he was involved in a friendly against Luton, and where there's no report, he had a reaction or he broke down. Hopefully, he came out maybe the first 45 minutes or 60 minutes on scale. So we should be expecting him to be available on Monday for the match against Crystal Palace. So on other team news was asked, said no new injury concern. Not after the game. Gabriel Jesus is still not available and not fit, but the rest are good. So that's looking good. For me, that is looking good. Let me see if there's any other slide I'm missing out on before I go to other talking points. So I think I've done some of the talking points Arteta had spoken about during the press conference. So looking forward to the Crystal Palace game. Hopefully there are no fresh injuries before that game because we are playing on Monday. We don't play on Saturday and Sunday. Unfortunately, we have to wait, but we have to have other games to enjoy before we play our game on Monday. I'm looking forward to that game. I'm going to do a proper match review regarding Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. I was just doing a presser regarding the latest news, and there are other reports about Balogun. I'm sure some of you have seen it. That what's the name of the team? Why am I forgetting the name of the team that is actually in the Premiership team that is keen on Crystal Palace? Maybe keen on Balogun. Let me look it up real quick. There is a particular team that's actually keen on Balogun from the English Premiership. I will find it. Give me a moment. I will get it right now. Let me go to Twitter real quick. I should have put a Balogun. There's a particular team who is keenly interested. I'm saying sports, not sports. Not Spurs. I saw the team the other time. It's not Spurs. Yes, Fulham. Yeah, Fulham are actually keen on Balogun. They say, let me see if I can share this. Let me see if I can share this right now. Yeah, you can see it right here. Fulham have stepped up their interest in following Balogun, but remains 10 million short of Arsenal's valuation of 45 million pounds. Arsenal had initially wanted 50 million pounds before lowering their price tag. However, Fulham are only willing to pay a maximum of 35 million pounds. This report is coming from Simon Jones. Simon Jones is relatively credible. So I've seen this news and there were actually other news that Spurs are interested. I'm like, if Spurs are interested, that price should be tripled to 90 million pounds. There is no way we are giving out Balogun for 50 million pounds to Spurs. I don't care if he wants to go. If I don't care if he goes to Spurs, but Spurs have to pay the premium for our player if they want any of our players. So I don't know. Like I said in my other video, when it comes to Balogun, right? How many? There are no takers that will take Balogun for the price we are seeking. How many takers? How many teams can actually thump up for 5 million pounds for Balogun? So Arsenal needs to be very, very smart about this Balogun haggling because there are not too many takers who are going to take him. I like Balogun. I know he's not going to get no game with at Arsenal, but who are the takers who are going to take this guy for the price we are quoting? Nobody in Europe is going to take him. Few teams will take him in English Premiership, and they do not have the kind of money Arsenal is seeking. Like I even think if this is actually true that Fulham will take him for 30 million pounds, I will sell him and just put in a sell-on clause in case he does well at Fulham and don't want to sell him on. We can get like 30, 35 to 30% sell-on clause. That is fair. We do not want to price ourselves out of the market thinking we can get for 5 million pounds for Balogun. That is overstretching it, in my opinion. We need to be very reasonable. There are not many takers for Balogun. 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks. This is time to be sensible. For me, if his report is true that Fulham will pay 30 million pounds and you're going to allow a sell-on clause, I'll do it as soon as possible. Now, maybe Fulham are actually saying they're going to just take a flat 30 million pounds, no sell-on clause. Maybe Arsenal could haggle a little bit for 1 more week and see if Fulham will actually budge. If not, selling. You don't want Balogun to remain with us this year and don't play no games. His value will plummet. Trust me, his value will plummet. We need to be very careful. We need to be very sensible. Let's get what we can get for Balogun and keep him moving. For me, let's get what we can get and keep him moving. He's not a prolific striker at that level. Hence, we'll be keeping him, right? If it was that great, we'll be keeping him. So we need to be very careful not to price our asset out of the market. Not too many teams will buy him. Let's be real. For that price, for that 45 million pounds price, how many teams will be willing to stick their neck out and buy him? I don't see too many teams. So let's be sensible and let's make the most of what we can do at the moment. So, any other news regarding Arsenal? We don't know who Arsenal is going to bring in to replace your team back. Because I've been doing some thinking. Who is that quality back defender that can play right back at a high level and that can play center half at a high level that we can bring? I don't trust the Pavard guy from Bayern. I don't think he's that quality because if it was quality, there is no way Bayern are selling their top quality player. If we want to compete with the likes of Bayern, we can't be buying their duds. No, hell no. He's not as great as a lot of people want to paint him. He's not quality, hence Bayern will not be selling him. So I've been trying to rack my brain. There's a guy from RB Leipzig. I've seen some highlights. We know highlights can be misleading. See, you can see comps of Balogun that makes him look like Henry. So sometimes comps can be misleading. I want to watch a 90-minute game of a player so I can make an informed decision, not just watch some compilation that gives you the best moment of that player, doesn't show you their deficiency, their weakness, so you can make an informed judgment of what you're doing. So out of the moment, I don't know who we can bring in, but I know the scouts are doing their job. I'm sure Arteta and Edu have a long list of players they have scouted, they put on the reserve, they might have to visit. I like Fred Snyder. I think Fred Snyder is good, but he can only play right back. He can't play center half. And we might be looking for a player that is hybrid of a right back and a right center half. So that makes it very dicey. That makes it very difficult. But with the amount of the scouting network we have, we can find a player that can do both. We can find, even though the time might be against us, talking to the player, talking to the team. We know the selling club. Any selling club Arsenal approach this time will take a Mickey because they know we are kind of desperate. Any selling club we approach to buy a defender this moment will make the maximum. They will want to actually make them the best, get the best price for their player out of Arsenal. So that's going to be very difficult. Trust me, it's going to be very difficult to do, but we have to do it. It is what it is. We have to do it. So, guys, I'm going to round it up right now. I'll be here tomorrow again for any latest news regarding Arsenal, breaking or not breaking. I'll be here for I think I'll do my preview for the match live here. I'll be doing my preview live here on this channel. Join me tomorrow for the Crystal Palace versus Arsenal preview live on this channel. I'll be doing it same time, prime time. Don't forget, set your alarm, set your notification bells. I'll be doing that tomorrow. So thanks for joining me for this brief version of the live. Which I spoke about ARTETA'S presser, right? Yeah, ARTETA'S presser. We spoke about Zinchenko, Yuri Timber's injury. We spoke about Quarantine's omission from team. So tomorrow I'll be here to do the proper pre-match preview to Monday Night Football, right? Crystal Palace. Yeah, we don't have our away record at Crystal Palace is not the finest, but I still think we can do very well on Monday when we travel to Selhurst Park. So I'll be here tomorrow. I guess you guys too will be here tomorrow. Make sure you join me, set your notification bells, and I'll be seeing you guys same time, same place tomorrow. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys same time, same place tomorrow. Ciao.